Going on, guys? Welcome, Rabid in the house, and today we're coming at you with a CPU mining video, and this one's going to be kind of like cubic testing. So right now I am mining on my 7950Xs, 7900X, the 7950X3D, the 7000 series, because I've heard AVX 512 is the better option over AVX 2, which is older gen type of stuff here. In theory, AVX 512 is technically really old as well. Intel used to use it long ago. But anyway, coming into new gen hardware, Ryzen 7000 series, and then older EPYCs like the 7742, as well as the 3900X and the 5900X, I believe, is behind that one. Those ones are only AVX 2. Where 7000 series and 9000 stuff is AVX 512, and it sounds like AVX 512 is getting big boosts on cubic over AVX 2. So I'm going to turn on the dual EPYC, the single EPYC, the 3900X and the 5900X, and I'm just going to see how well are they hashing versus my AVX 512 CPU. So let's fire them up. So before I do turn on the dual 7742 here, I do have to turn on the cooler, which is, well, it has coolers right there, but the VRM cooler here. So we're going to put this to number 4. There we go. And this is blowing air right across, whoop, almost fell over. Blowing air right across this right here. Now I do have a bigger heatsink to put on that, so I might put that in sometime here, but I've just been too lazy. So we got this going, now I can fire this up. All right, so we do have fans spinning, as you can see there on rig 5, and then we also got blinkety lights and stuff like that going on everywhere. So everything is currently on. I'm gonna jump into HiveOS on the workstation, point these towards cubic, and wait for some hash rates to see what things are looking like. All right, so do a quick refresh here, and here we are coming into the rigs. They are turned on. So here is the dual EPYC 7742. It is AVX2, 374 ITs per second on cubic. The EPYC 7742 is 191, the 3900X is 49, and the 5950X is 95. Now, look at this. The 9950X3D is 297. So almost 300. That is almost double of the single EPYC 7742. And this is a 64 core, 128 thread CPU. And this is a 16 core, 32 thread. And obviously the X3D version, which has all that L3 cache. Now here's the dual EPYC. So it's like two of these in one. And we can see our single 9950X3D is, only about 77 ITs less than the dual EPYC. And keep in mind, this dual EPYC is using like 600 or 700 watts. Well, it does this. Well, this guy right here is using a cool 130 watts. So AVX2 is not looking very hot right now. Like the 3900X, 49 hashes. Look at the 7900X, it's 193. Just shy of 200. So look at the generation gap between AVX2 and AVX 512 here. 50 freaking hashes to 193. It's a huge jump. Normal 7950X, 249, almost 250 versus 95 in the 5950X. Then we got the X3Ds, 217, 222, 214, and then the straight normal 9950X is 271, and then the X3D is 297. But we are seeing the 9000 series outperform 7000 series in this situation. So that's very interesting here. The newer architecture does seem to be doing something. We don't usually see this, especially in other algorithms. The 7 and 9000 usually, are pretty much exactly the same, but we are seeing a boost in the 9000 series here, which is very interesting. But obviously AVX2 here, coming back to what it is it sucks. So our 9950 X3D is outperforming EPYC CPUs and almost outperforming a freaking dual EPYC. If you look at efficiencies, then we are severely way outperforming the dual EPYC. So it's pretty insane to see, the difference that's happening right now. So I did mine for about 6 days. It's guessing my revenue should be about 53.5 million cubic. And the other major thing here, which I still got to find out the information on, is look at this XMR share value. And you find XMR shares as you're mining here when you switch to it. I found about 7,207 shares. it is saying my share value per XMR share is about 5,519 cubic. And a solution value right now for finding solutions or shares and stuff like that. So each share here, I guess we have 231. I don't know what this 210 is and stuff, but it's telling you how much cubic that is worth. So based on this, it sounded like you get paid. This is the QLI pool here that I'm trying right now. But it sounds like you're getting 60% of the cubic that it's guessing here. You know, the rest go to the server pool providers and everything else that goes on the ecosystem. I'm not 100% sure. And 40% of the XMR shares. So it's like a 60-40 split here as far as I'm aware. And remember, I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to figure out all the information, how this works. But depending on that, you might be making more mining cubic, even though it's not hashing. Obviously, we saw AVX 512 versus AVX 2. But you're still getting normal hash rate and stuff like you normally would on Monero when it swaps to that. So if you're getting paid here, which it looks like we're supposed to be per share of XMR that you find, you still might be making more based on the cubic price with those AVX2 CPUs than just mining Monero and Tari alone. Again, that's stuff I'm going to have to test and work out and figure out and get more information on. But things are looking kind of interesting for CPUs again on cubic. So this is just, you know, some basic numbers. I'm going to turn around and see what my profitability actually is. I just want to quickly now come in and let's just type in cubic price here. That way I can look at the price that we are right now. And then I'm going to divide all this by 6 days and see what's happening. So right now we're sitting at 0.05. So 5 zeros and then 2253. So that's the price I'm going to base this whole week on right now. And we'll see what kind of profitability it looks like when I finally get paid. All right, guys, so that is pretty darn crazy that the 9950 X3D is performing, well, efficiency-wise, way better than the dual EPYC down there and almost the same amount of hash rate, and it's definitely outperforming the single 64-core, 128-thread, single EPYC 7742. And then when it comes to, you know, across the board, we got the 5900 and the 3900X versus the 7900Xs, just obliterating the older generations on cubic right now. So that is insane. I'm going to shut these things off because they're using so much extra power. We got very little extra hash rate there, and we almost doubled the amount of power that I'm using. So I usually around 1820 watts or something. Now I'm at like 3,243. So pretty insane the extra power we're using and not as much extra hash rate at all. All right, so goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I can't reach you, but I'm coming. And goodbye. Don't be sad. There's still hope. Now, why do I say there's still hope? Because obviously I can still point those things to other coins like strictly Monero and Tari or whatever else is out there. Virus coin, depending what it does, it's been in a downhill slump, you know, maybe some Raptorium. There's still lots of other coins I can point those to, but I am just testing cubic for this week. And again, I got to get some more information because it might be worthwhile still mining cubic on the AVX2 CPUs, but you know, mining that Monero and Tari, you might not be getting much cubic, but you still might be making more off the cubic that you make from mining the other coins. So that is still a really interesting thing about cubic that it's doing. But again, I got to find out more information about how that all works to figure out if it's worthwhile. But again, that's things I've been hearing is that it is worthwhile to do so. Have you been doing it? If so, let me know in the comment section how it's been playing out for you. All right, guys, so that pretty much does wrap up this video. You know, I don't know if it's what type of time limit we're in right now. I think it was a fairly quick one, but maybe it wasn't. And if you guys are looking to shop anything on Amazon for your car, your house, your rigs, anything at all, use one of them Amazon links down in the description. Search whatever you want. It will greatly help the channel at no extra cost to you. Be sure to smash links down in the description, guys. Much appreciated. Love you all. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.